6. And this deals with circles. And so if you notice, the very first one is the tangent conjecture. A tangent to a circle is perpendicular to the radius drawn to the point of tangency. So essentially what that means is that this right here, these are right angles. Okay? Now the next conjecture is about angles inscribed in a semicircle. And angles inscribed in a semicircle are right angles. So here's your inscribed. This is what they look like. Okay? So now we're going to utilize those two pieces of information when I go to solve a problem like this. And so if you look at this problem, it says if OC is perpendicular to AB. So that means this is a right angle right here. AB is 24 centimeters. So if it's 24, what do you know about AM and MB? What are they? 12. And MC is 8. We want to find the diameter of circle O. So essentially what we want to do is we want to find the radius and then we'll just double it. So in order to find the radius, or the diameter, I'm going to call this OM X. It is not 8. Don't just think it's 8 and then your radius is 16 because it's actually not. And so in looking at that, wow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something a little different. Some of you are probably like, So I'm going to draw in a segment right there. And that segment I've drawn in is the radius of the circle, correct? Mm-hmm. And I know that OC is also the radius. So OC and this blue segment I just drew in are the exact same measure. Oh. OC's measure is X plus 8. Okay? OC's measure is X plus 8. And so now what I'm going to do
like a shot
is I'm going to go ahead and I've got a right triangle. Okay? Those of you, if you're wondering on the video what just happened, we just had kind of, it looked like, or sounded like a massive storm burst. And so anyway, that's why people are getting kind of crazy.
She's like, Sarah, stop shaking. I was like, I'm not moving.
So anyway, this is what I'm looking at right now. This is a cross section. And I'm going to translate the sizes, or the side lengths, over here. So I have X 12 and X plus 8. And now I've got a right triangle. What can I use in a right triangle to find X? Or in this one? Pythagorean theorem, yep. So I've got 12 squared plus X squared equals X plus 8 squared. So on the left side, what's 12 squared? 144. Now, big mistake that people make is they just square the X and they square the 8. And we know that that's wrong. When I square something, that means I take it times itself. And so now I have to FOIL this out. So what I'm going to get is I'm going to get X squared, because that's my first terms. I'm going to get plus 8X plus 8X, and then plus 64. So if you notice, your X squareds are gone, because you have one on each side. So I've got 144 equals 8X and 8X is 16X plus 64. Subtract 64 from both sides, so you get 16X equals 80. Divide by 16, and you get X to equal 5. So let's go and revisit in the problem what in fact X is. X is right here, and so this equals 5. And so right here in place of X I have 5, and so what is the radius going to be?
36.
The radius is going to be 5 plus 8, which is 13. So the diameter will be 26. Label? Centimeters. Questions? So there's our diameter, 26 centimeters. Let's go ahead and look at another one. HA equals 8 root 3. Find the shaded area. Oh. HA equals 8 root 3.
Oh! I can't see it. Can you draw a line from T to A?
Yeah.
What'd you say?
You can draw a line from T to A, then it or do that.
How about I do this one?
Oh, that works too.
And then, okay, the whole purpose of doing that is because if you remember that very first conjecture, it talked about tangents. And when it talked about those, I know that I've got a right angle right here and right here. And actually, those, yeah, these triangles are the same. If that's 120 to start with, this has got to be 60, in which case I've got a 30, 60, 90 triangle. I'm given the side opposite 60.
16.
So what's the side here going to be?
8.
8. Very good. So my radius is 8. This is 8 root 3. And my hypotenuse will be 16. So now what I need to do is I need to find the area of that sector. Okay, the area of the sector is going to be the piece of the pie. And so what I'm trying to find right now is I'm going to try and find this area right here. Okay, now if you remember how I found the area of that piece of pizza.
Doesn't it want the shaded
I
area?
took, okay, just hold on. The area of that shaded region is going to be 120 divided by 360. It's going to be my fractional part times pi r squared.
Okay.
So I get 120 over 360, which is 1/3, times 64 pi. So if I multiply that all out, I want you to tell me what you get to the nearest 100.
21.
Yeah, to the nearest 100. I want you to multiply it out without the pi. So I want you to take 1/3 times pi times 64.
67.02.
67.02 you said? Okay, there you go. So that's the area of this shaded portion right here. Now, some of you are probably saying, well, we're looking for the blue shaded region. I understand that, but we've got to start with that part right there first. Because then now what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the area of this triangle right here. And I'm going to take that area times 2. Because then what that will give me is that will give me this kite region, and then I'll subtract the 2 and I'll be good. Okay, so to find the area of this, it's going to be 8 times 8 root 3 divided by 2. And that's for one triangle, but I'm going to take it times 2 because I've got 2 triangles. So what happens to your 2's? They're gone. So I have 8 times 8 root 3, which is 64 root 3. I want you to tell me what that will be to 2 decimal places. So 64 times root 3. 1, what is it? Should be 100 and... So 64... Did somebody else get 110.85?
What is, how do you find it?
64 times 3.
I don't have this.
Yes, you do. So now, in order to find my answer, I'm going to go ahead and subtract the 2. And I end up getting 0.83. What does that come out to be? 43.83. And the label will be centimeters squared. Questions? You're going to have to be creative on a lot of these. Okay? So let's go ahead and turn to your assignment. Your assignment is found on page 509. Let's go ahead and look at it and make sure that we're getting a good start on it. Page 509. Lots of area problems. Find the area of the shaded region. Okay? So, any questions? Okay, so for Monday, 1 through 8.